Okay, hopefully the camera doesn't shut down on me. This is a Hartley oscillator, and I thought this was a really good oscillator. And then I put it on my Huff and Puff circuitry and tried it out. This oscillator never stops drifting, and it drifts up in frequency. All right, it keeps going up and up and up. 2 hours later, it's still going up. Now, the original project that this came from was in the Radio Amateur's Handbook, 1981. You can find it online. It's in like a first person's receiver, the first receiver you should build. And they do put it in a metal can, but this thing just keeps drifting. Now, my Franklin oscillator, which is my favorite, I have no problem with it. One of the best things about the Franklin is it has a buffer FET on it, which keeps it from being loaded down by whatever you run it to, which keeps it from overheating, which keeps it from drifting. Now, I just wanted to show you something. Oh, first I got to tell you this. On the back, I did a quick video about deglitching caps. The deglitching caps in the Huff and Puff circuit for best results need to go right across the back of the IC between the VCC, which would be the plus voltage, and ground, right across. Don't run the capacitor to ground a little further away. It doesn't work, especially on the shift register. That's why I had two boards that were totally wired the same, and I got different results. And once I changed the deglitching caps across the ICs themselves, I got better results. Okay, now I want to show you something that I went off into a rabbit hole. All right, right now we have all these digits on. Okay, this is 1 hertz here. All right, notice it's floating around. All right, now I have a really big capacitor on this thing, so when I tune this in, I got to really be sitting down. But I want to show you, as you turn it up in frequency, watch this thing start jumping. Notice this guy. All right, you'd expect these digits to go real fast and then that one real slow, but it doesn't. Now I found out why. All right, let me click this one. If I click this one, click, now we have less, and this always bobbles. And this is the digit over here that you can't see is not bobbling. The bobbling is caused by the gate time. All right, but in other words, if you turn this up now, it goes the way you'd expect it to go. All right, let's go down in frequency. That's how you'd expect it to work. Okay? But like I said, I tried this Hartley oscillator. Again, it's from the Radio Amateur's Handbook, 1981. You really should go through that book. They show you how to make a direct conversion receiver using this Hartley oscillator. And I put this thing on without the Huff and Puff, and I put my frequency counter on it. And one of the problems is this doesn't have a buffer. So when you put the scope or anything on it, you start loading this down, which causes the FET to get warmer and the temperature to rise and the frequency to keep going up. Okay, now you can put a buffer on this. This circuit, they also recommended only coming off with 50 picofarads. Don't go any higher than that. But I put this thing on, I had it all mounted in there, and I'm like, now we're going to see some real action. Or less action. No, this never settled. And this would go, it would slowly work its way up. You couldn't see this. All of a sudden, this would jump one of the lock points. It kept jumping lock points. Now, that's the thing. I'm using divide by 11 right now. Okay? And I can go from 3.5 or below 80 meters. I can go all the way up with this thing. Let me go the right way. And as I go up in frequency, the lock points get further apart. But at 7 megacycles in that area, which would be 40 meters, the lock points are 40, the way I have it set up, 40 hertz, which is really good. I mean, that's really good for this type of oscillator. But that's where I stayed with this thing. I really want to understand it and what part if I changed and what went wrong. But this blew my mind when I considered this the best oscillator I had. You know, polystyrene caps in there, but you really need a buffer after this FET. And I didn't do that. And oh, it's got a Zener diode on it. The whole shebang. But But I now have two working Huff and Puff circuits, and it's a matter of what do I put one of them in, okay? But it's really, now this is actually 10 hertz, okay? But this here, bobbling, it's not bobbling over here, or it might be bobbling over here, okay? Am I in the frame? But the way they do it with the gate, see, if you built your own frequency counter, you could have the digit bobbling here, but don't show it, and then this would be very stable looking. But that's not how this eBay unit works. And the same with the one with the LCD screen. It bobbles too, even though you would think it wouldn't bobble, but the way they do the gate time, okay, the gate that opens up and lets the data come through and then closes, it gets slightly out of sync with the phase of the signal, and every other sampling, it picks a different number, and that's what causes the bobble. And where I worked on, all the stuff I ever worked on, you could move the frequency counter so the bobbling digit was hiding over here, and you just adjust these right on. You might throw the switch just to zero it in better, and then basically go back to your non-bobbling, because that sort of annoys me when something's constantly moving. But it's interesting. Like I said, I put a lot of time in on it. I stayed with it, and the big breakthrough, I'm going to tell you right now, your deglitching caps need to go across each IC. There's 4 of them, and you go look up on deglitch. I did a video on it. What happens is, as the chip is switching internally, it's putting little tiny spikes out on the B plus, and if there's not a capacitor to quench the spikes, it actually can count the spikes from itself and give you a bobbling digit or jumping around. And once I changed the way I put them on, I got 2 boards that work identically the same. Because I have one board that worked better than the other board, and I hold them side by side, and they're absolutely wired the same batch of capacitors, same batch of ICs, but I had different results. And it always goes to me through the past. I told you on the deglitching video, through my life I've had circuits that had some type of glitching problem, and it always turned out to be the deglitching caps. All right, I think that's it. All right, that's it.